Hey, Shalom, Akim. This is Abaya Allah here at the Surrogate of Yahawashi / Paradigms. Nigga, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Kahakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders at Greatmillstone, taught in this truth and root well. Peace and salutations unto the shepherds that feed the sheep of the Heavenly Father Yahawah. This is ancient Hebrew name, which means he to be, the only begotten Son, the Word, and we call Jesus Christ. Real name in the Hebrew is Yahawashi. This means he to deliver. He's come to deliver the predestined, chosen elect of the nation of Israel. All right, which consists of you so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Hispanic Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians, and those who descend from those 12. All right, that are scattered in every nation under heaven. Have different complexions, mixed features, speak different tongues, or even closely resemble that of a heathen. But spirit and bloodline goes back to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the chosen. Okay, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the wicked of our people who don't make it on this side, will receive their blessing in the kingdom of heaven. Salak, as newborn babes through the 1/3 men and women, okay, who are delivered in these last days from the coming destruction of our Lord Yahawah and Yahawashi, all right, of the nuclear destruction and result of World War III, okay, the chaos that is ensue, which is called Jacob's trouble, and the destruction that our Lord is going to bring via so-called UFOs, aka UAPs, and chariots of Israel, whom our Lord will return in those vehicles, him being in the greatest and largest ship that there is that will cover the planet Earth. Okay, and in this video, this is how Elder Malcolm said, that's why I seen this video. He said this is a solemn assembly, and this is this guy, it's Edomite Senator Richard Blumenthal, going into the Space Force, going into the fear. You can see and sense the fear in his mind, and you can see it in his countenance. Right, you got all the top generals there of the different branches, and he was going into how the things that they're seeing, including this thing that they're calling Planet X or Nibiru, which we think is a gigantic spaceship. All right, it's closer than what we think to the Earth. I'm pretty sure that Hubble telescopes are catching it all at once, and that's not including all of these UAPs, chariots, all right, that are visiting this Earth in broad daylight and weird, out of this world shapes. Okay, and just it's hovering in the air. All right, and some just 3 or 4, and others in mass, 10s, 20s, the hundreds. Okay, and they're catching all of this stuff, through their feeds, and even the average person is able to catch these chariots, the angels of the Lord. So that's who drive those vehicles. All right, so I was gonna play this real quick to show those who believe and watch this video that our Lord is closer than what we believe, and it is nearer than what we believe. All right, I don't know how recent this was, but I believe it's very recent, probably this year. So I want to play this real quick, and it's also going to according to Project Looking Glass, which I'm gonna play later on. All right, at the end is determined, no matter what they do. Okay, of the elect, God's chosen elect, and an angry God at that, taking his people, his kind, the elites, out of power. All right, setting up all of the World War III, the nuclear destruction, activating his men with spiritual power. Even the things that they have in these laboratories that the Lord gave them on the left hand, is going to be nothing compared to what the Lord is going to show out. With the chariots, which they know already more than we, and his men on the earth. Lord will not be one of those men. Starting with the 144,000 prophets, which are men from the 12 tribes. So I'm gonna play this real quick, and then I'm gonna get like the scripture too.
And the reason that's important is that the American people have no idea really no idea about the immensity of the threat in space. And I've made this comment in a classified setting that I wish the American people could be present in this room. Not this room, but the skiff, because our adversaries know what they are doing. We know what they are doing. They know we know what they are doing. But the American people have no idea. And so this discussion and debate will have very little interest in the American public. It's carried on in a level of, forgive me, bureaucratic language that most Americans would have trouble seeing an immediacy in their daily lives. But if they were privy to what we hear, and you know it much better than we do because you live it, I think they'd be pretty alarmed. This is not by way of criticism of you, because you're living with the strictures of what is classified and not, but I think we have a real obligation to explain to the American people why space is a domain that matters, why the threats there are real and urgent, why they are growing in importance. So I think we all agree here that space is an important domain. Undersea warfare is an important domain.
We won't have the choice to believe that 9/11 happened because of a bunch of terrorists, because we'll know exactly what's happened. Basically, what we're experiencing right now is two master chess players sitting at the board. And one of them looks down at the board and sees that he's in checkmate in 7 moves. And he looks across at his opponent, and he knows that his opponent sees it too. So there's no getting out of it. So at this point, the loser can only prolong the game. The game, both players know the game is over. It's only a matter of time before he does this, and then you're forced to do this, and then he's forced to do this, and eventually checkmate. We, as a race, if we could understand that the game is over, that based on the rules of the game, the bad guys have already lost, the good guys have already won. Yes, there's moves left on the table, but those moves are being forced by the player that is going to win. The only way that checkmate can't happen is if the player that's winning makes a mistake. But from all of the information that I've gathered, all of the information that's been given, all of the information that's been vetted to me, it seems pretty obvious that the good guy player on the side of the chessboard knows exactly what has to be done to win the game. And so at this point, any mistake would be all but impossible. But again, you really have to understand the game to know that the guy that's losing is lost. And I'm sure most people sitting watching a chess match between two advanced chess players know the game's over long after the two players know it's over, because they can't see the board and see that there's only 7 moves left.
Okay, but when we come to this convergence, and again, you've seen, or the looking glass has seen up to that point.
Now, let me say why I believe that it comes down to one inevitability, is because I was entrusted in getting it down to 2 possibilities. And I've heard both of those possibilities talked about in massive proportions, the good and the bad.
Okay, do you want to talk, so can you, in one sentence, say what the good was and the bad was, or are you able to do that?
To most easily put it to people,
I suppose.
one scenario is what most people would understand to be ascension, or an evolution of consciousness that brings us out of the cocoon and turns us into a butterfly. Timeline 2 is some kind of major global catastrophe that drives most of us underground and leaves a few of us on top to fend for ourselves.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real fruity shit now, man. You finished? That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do? Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
All right, this is Isaiah 46 and 10, starting 9. It says, remember the former days of old, for I am Yahawah thy power, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, his will. And who's this counsel? The angels, and of course the elect men, the house of David. Right? Always teaching his truth. You know, the believers in his word, putting their hands to the plow according to their life. Right? That's the Lord's counsel. This is all my pleasure. Right? Let me see what else we got. Isaiah 65 and 17 says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered. Going back to that Project Looking Glass. Doesn't matter what happens, the kingdom of heaven will be established. All right, nor come into mind, but ye be glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem, not the whole world, Jerusalem, to 12 tribes of Israel, a rejoicing, and her people a joy. Okay? As we're going to get it back to back to back. All right? So, let's see. Okay, this is Isaiah 41, start at 1. It says, keep silence before me, O islands. The elect is considered an island. You know, the elect are scattered. Okay, so they consider islands compared to the whole nation. All right, it says the remnant. And it says, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Okay, let them speak. You know, prophesying. All right, prophecy, to prophesy the incoming, the ushering in of our Lord and the coming destruction, even unto the wicked of our people as well. So this message is for me. It says, who raised up the righteous man from the east. All right, that's Yahawashi. All right, and so Yahawashi is written in the Old Testament. It's another one for you wacky type of Christians out there. It says, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. So he gave them as the dust to his sword, from laser beams from the chariots. Think of war of the worlds. That's the sword the Lord is going to do a lot of killing with, those laser beams. It's going to come out of his fathership. He's going to be the biggest one. It says, and as driven stubble to his bow. It says he pursued them and passed safely even by the way that he had not gone with his feet, who had brought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning, which is I, the Lord, all caps Yahawah. It says the first and with the last I am He. All right, and it says the owls saw it. We're gonna be in the midst of this. All right, it says the righteous shall scarcely be saved. It says and feared. So just like these devils are in fear, it says that the devils also tremble and believe. All right, we're gonna tremble too, and that's on the elect. And it says the ends of the earth were afraid, drew near and came. Why? Come up hither. All right, as the Lord is going to beam up His elect, but they are being drawn together now through what? The unicorn, which is the internet, the World Wide Web, which is doing the heavy lifting of sealing the Lord's elect. And it says they helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, "Be of good courage." Okay, so let me see. Is there any more? Now it goes into the 7th verse. That's going into the nuclear missiles. All right. It says, "But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend, not Ishmael, Israel. All right. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth." They're the only ones who's going to be delivered. "And called thee from the chief men thereof," which is the house of David, 144,000 men, prophets. All right, and scribes. It says, "And said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee and not cast thee away. Fear not thou, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness." Who's the right hand? Yahawashi, or the world really calls Jesus Christ, which is a so-called dark-skinned man, full head of hair and a full beard. All right, as white as snow, like a sheep. Going into his characteristics in Revelation, the 1st chapter. Okay, so just want to get into that no matter what happens, you got to hold on, because we're the hopeful elect, and turn to waiting to be the elect. In the midst of Jacob's trouble, we're getting ready to see. All right, who always had the truth, which we know through the Spirit and believe it's been the apostles and elders of Greatmillstone. The men who are teaching the likewise doctrine. But we still not saved yet, though we have the 100% doctrine. So this is a quick video. Hope this video was uplifting and edifying to those who are listening. To next time, Shalom, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, Barakathon. We're almost out of here, really. All right, Shalom.